There we go. Hopefully we're live. Hopefully somebody in the chat can let me know by leaving a comment or something. Um, it's been weird getting this set up for some reason. It keeps telling me that my bit rates are wrong, and it keeps telling me all kinds of weird stuff. It took forever to connect, even though it wasn't, or that it was connected. I don't understand what is going on. Okay, thank you, Travis, Nighthawk, Hunter. Thank you guys so much for jumping in to leave a comment. Really do appreciate that. Again, just trying to figure out why it keeps throwing all of these errors at me. Like it's saying first it was like your stream's current bit rate of 2,500 kilobits per second is too low. We recommend 6,800. So I was like, okay. So I set it to 6,800. Now it's like the stream's current bit rate of 7,000 is too low. We recommend. I don't even know what they recommend now. Like I don't understand what their issue is. This The stream's current bitrate of 7,000 kilobits per second is lower than the recommended bitrate of 6,800 kilobits per second. The higher number is lower. Like I'm not even messing around with it. Like what? Like this is so weird. Yeah, like here, I'll just share my desktop so you can see if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. Yeah, the stream's current bitrate of 7,052 kilobits per second is lower than the recommended rate. We recommend that you stream at 6,800. How is this number lower than this number? That doesn't make sense to me. The sound bitrate might be off. Okay, well, then maybe. Let me switch back over to here, and then let me go to my settings. I apologize, you got to look at my stupid face while I'm troubleshooting something here. General. Okay, let's go to output. Let's go to no, that's fine. Output. Audio bitrate is set to 160. I guess I'll jump it to like 256 and hit apply. And now. Okay, maybe it's reloading. It's doing stuff. Okay. Well, I'm not getting any error messages. So, Hunter, thanks, man. Appreciate that. That seems to have fixed whatever the issue was. And I agree, Travis. The math ain't mathin'. That is 100% true. So, yeah, this is the first live stream we've done since March. Honestly, I don't have anything planned for this live stream. I just wanted to do a live stream. It's been, like I said, 4 months, and there's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Some of it's medical stuff, some of it's not medical stuff, some of it is channel stuff, some of it is not channel stuff, and it's been kind of a whirlwind of things going on. I don't know why that message was redacted. That's weird. But anyway, yeah, no plans for this. I wanted to come and say hi. I guess is basically what it boils down to. I've been trying to create more videos recently, and I've been really happy with with the views that those videos have been getting. It used to be huge wild swings in views of one video would get 1,000 or one video would get 1,000 views and the other video would get like 8,000 views, and it was I never really knew what to expect when I would release a video. And I'll say that I'm super happy with the fact that I'm getting like a consistent 4,000 to 7,000 views across videos, which isn't obviously as high as I'd like, but consistency is super important with that kind of stuff, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, just curious, what's your average monthly electric kilowatt consumption? Pups. Honestly, I never really pay attention to it. Here's what I can say is that here where I live, the water, gas, like for your gas furnace and stove and things like that, water, gas, and electric is all one bill. It's all handled by one company. It's just the utility company here in town. And like during the summer, my total utility bill is usually less than $300 a month. Again, that's water, that's sewer, that's gas, that's electric. All of that combined is less than $300 a month most times. It used to be considerably higher than that. We were running air conditioners like in our windows. Here in Colorado, having an air conditioner is super uncommon. So everybody just uses window units, and they're super inefficient. And that would jack our total utility bill to like $500 a month. So last year, after tax returns and whatnot, we bought an above ground pool that's fairly large, and we fill that up. And when it gets hot, we just go dunk ourselves in that for a while, or right before we go to bed, we'll dunk ourselves in that for a while to bring our body temperatures down. So we haven't actually had our AC units in the windows for a couple of years now. It's been kind of nice. So there's that. Hopefully that, I know it doesn't answer your question, but like my total utility bill is usually sub 300. As far as medical stuff, what happened? That's kind of a long story, but I'll try to summarize it as efficiently as I can. In 2016, I was hospitalized with the flu, and I'm only going back this far to give some backstory. In 2016, I got the flu. I ignored it for a couple of weeks. My girlfriend, then now wife, finally convinced me to go to the local doc in the box, the local urgent care to get checked out. They're like, yeah, you got the flu, but your heart doesn't sound right, so we're sending you over to the ER. They're going to admit you. We're going to take care of it. So that was February 23rd of 2016, and I finally got to go home July 12th or 13th. So it's about 5 months of being hospitalized, 4 medically induced comas, lots and lots of tests and procedures. And when I got home, I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. I learned to walk again. I went through all of that. Basically, I've got an autoimmune condition called granulomatosis with polyangiitis. Basically, my body thinks I'm the bad guy and tries to constrict my blood vein, my vessels, my veins, my arteries, whatever, to cut off access to my organs. And during that time, while I was hospitalized, there was a period of time where my lungs were hemorrhaging blood. They would have to come in every morning and do a bronchoscopy and remove like a pint of blood from my lungs every morning, while simultaneously my legs were clotting. I was throwing clots in my legs. It was a disaster. So finally got all of this under control for like 7.5, 8 years. It was a disaster. 2016, 17, 18 were just awful, awful years. Midway through like 18, then through 19, 20, 21, 20, like all the way through December of last year, things were going fairly well, all things considered. Everything was managed fairly well. Like New Year's Eve, we were going to go out. We were going to do the New Year's Eve thing, and I couldn't. Like I went out to my car to get some stuff, got back in the house, couldn't breathe. So finally, like a week later, I call my doctor. I go in and I see him, and he's like, "You just need to go to the ER. They can do more for you there than I can do in my little one-off office space here." So I spent a good chunk of January hospitalized with pneumonia is what it started out with. But then they also found out that I had bilateral pulmonary embolisms, which means my lungs were full of blood clots. They also found blood clots in my leg. And then while I was there dealing with pneumonia and blood clots in my lungs and leg, I also contracted COVID in the hospital. So I had all of this stuff going on in January. I spent like 3 months recovering from that because it was just a crap show. And so I've been trying to create content. I've been getting back into creating content over the past couple of months, and I've been feeling really good because my views are up, or consistent, I guess, not necessarily up, but consistent. And yeah, so that's kind of what was going on there. We're going to come back to some of that if I'm being completely honest. There's some other stuff about that I want to talk about later. But True Passion asks, did you ever work as an IT admin? If yes, what was your salary? I've never worked as an IT admin. I was a web developer for about a decade. I did mostly front end stuff, but built some plugins and things for WordPress. We were a WordPress shop finally after a while, after being a Joomla shop. But yeah, so I've never been a sysadmin. I don't have the background. I don't have the credentials. I don't have any of that. It would have been fun. It would have been cool. I just don't know that my brain can do it anymore. Yeah, Hunter, I've heard the same thing about electric being pretty expensive in a lot of areas. I feel fortunate to live here in Colorado for that reason. So let's see. This says, I hope you stay healthy. You have a lot to teach us. I mean, I'm trying. I am. The problem with granulomatosis with polyangiitis is that once you've got it, you're done. Like that's it. Like there's no cure for it. There is, you can have it put into remission through, through medication, through treatments, through all kinds of stuff. I was doing a treatment called Rituxan or rituximab. Basically, for the last 8 years, every 6 months I'd go in. They'd inject me with either 500 milligrams or a full 1,000 milligrams of rituximab, and basically its whole job was to just shut off my immune system, like because it's my immune system coming after me. So its job was to just shut that down. My tests that I had done recently about that were good. It appears that we've got the granulomatosis with polyangiitis under control and in remission for the time being. However, during that blood lab, when they did those labs, they did blood, they did urine, they did all of the stuff. They did a bunch of extra labs that we weren't expecting because some of them came back weird. So Monday I'm going in to get more done, more blood, more urine tests. I'm getting more of this done Monday, as kind of a follow up to everything else. Apparently now I have too much hemoglobin. My blood's too thick, and that's while I'm on blood thinners. So I don't know what's going on. Nobody seems to know what's going on. So Monday I'm going in for more tests. So that's what's going on there. Southeast. Love your Open Media Vault videos. Got me into media server hosting. Same, actually. I actually started doing the self-hosting stuff using. Initially, I did a video on Open Media Vault 4, and then I shared that video on Reddit, and I got decimated on Reddit by one dude. Just like, and he wasn't trying to be mean or hurtful. He was spitting facts, if you want to put it that way. And I messaged him like, okay, then what do I do? If you're all knowing, what do I do? And he's like, well, Open Media Vault 4 is end of life at this point. You need to look at Open Media Vault 5, and you need to learn Docker. If you can do that, if you can switch to Open Media Vault 5 and learn Docker, you'll be in a much better position. So I did, and then I started making videos about that, and that's what I've been doing since. To do whatever recognition for the computers. No, Carl, I'm really glad that my videos have helped kind of reignite your interest in computers and that sort of thing. That's why I started doing it, was because this all actually started after 2016, after I got out of the hospital, after I learned to walk again, after I got my voice back. Like, this isn't this is a new voice. I've had it for the last 8 years. Prior to that, I sounded way different. So anyway, and once I made that first video about installing Plex on Open Media Vault, like, it sparked my interest in self-hosting, and then I wanted to make more videos and more videos and more videos, and then people started requesting stuff, and people started interacting, and people started subscribing, and that kind of got me motivated to do more and more and more. And it's been a lot of fun over the last several years of creating home server self-hosting content. So yeah, Carl, I'm really glad that my videos have kind of helped reignite that for you too. See, Travis says, would love some Unraid videos. I'm loving my new Unraid build. I have been saying for like a year that I need to look into Unraid. I don't have. I want to. Let's put it that way. Like, I want to, but I've dug into some other stuff, and I'm just, man, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I know I need to. Let's see, any diet suggestions that may help? Probably dumb question. Not Razor, not a dumb question at all, if we're being completely honest. I'm well overweight. I should be like 180, kind of top end, and I'm closer to like 240. And that's actually down over the last few months. I was over 150, or sorry, over 250 for a while. And I've done kind of some soul searching or whatever you want to call it, really. lots of late nights just thinking. And I've come to some realizations about myself. And I've once I came to those realizations, I started taking better care of my physical health through what I was eating. I'm still being I'm being more active. I'm working on stuff in the backyard so that the kid has a nice place to play. But my eating habits were what was really killing me. Like aside from all of the other medical stuff, the weight that I was gaining and maintaining was going to kill me faster than anything. I spent years being pre-diabetic. My blood sugar levels when they tested them were always over 100, like 105 to 110 usually. My last blood results came back at less than 100, so that's good. But as far as that's concerned, just healthy eating, healthy lifestyle. But as far as like managing the condition I've got through eating, that part is no different than any other person out there who doesn't have a medical condition. Like my eating habits are only as bad as I let them be, and that only has peripheral effects on the condition itself. Carl says I'm a guy on disability pension. Same. And it's hard to afford computer hardware, but I'm making do with what I have. Same, honestly. Like I get all of these. Like I've got the stuff back here and whatnot, and I know I'm super fortunate for that. But the problem with that, and this is I guess kind of segueing into what I said I wanted to get into later when I said it earlier, is that hardware doesn't pay the bills, right? Like the videos that I make about hardware, those videos are in exchange for said hardware. Like I've got I think a 6 video contract on the HL15 that's back there, and I've made a couple of those so far. The mini PC that I did the other day, that's a great little mini PC. But I don't actually earn, like they're not paying me financially for those videos. So most of my revenue is only what AdSense pays me, and that I've been looking at those numbers recently because I have to, right? Like I have to look at those numbers, and it's not good. In fact, my goal when I originally thought about coming out here to sit in this chair, in fact, this chair, I've got a video contract on this chair and the desk I'm sitting at from FlexiSpot. They sent me a desk and chair. They're great. I love them, but I've got a contract on those to make a video piece or an integration piece on both of those. And none of this is actually bringing me in any money, right? I've been looking through my analytics recently because my ad revenue, while my views are staying pretty consistent, my ad revenue keeps going down. Like last month in June, I think I released 8 pieces of content. I think it was 6 videos and 2 shorts. And it was my lowest performing month in the last few years. Like in January, when I made 1 video just talking about the future of the channel, I made 1 video in January, and I made considerably more in January than I made in June. Like in January, February, March, I released a total of 7 videos, and made more each of those months where I only released 3 or 4 videos each month. I made more those months than in June when I released 8 pieces of content. Like my RPMs, my CPMs is what what advertisers pay Google, YouTube, whatever to advertise on my channel. There's a huge discrepancy between the CPMs that advertisers pay and what I'm actually getting paid from YouTube. Like I'm getting, let's say an advertiser pays YouTube $15 per 1,000 impressions on my videos. I make less than 3 most of the time recently. And I don't know if it's YouTube doing it. I don't know if it's ad blockers doing it. I don't know if it's the YouTube ad blocking debacle that's going on right now. But my revenue hasn't been this low in a very, very long time. And I've considered taking on sponsors again to compensate for that. But the problem is that the sponsors that have been coming to me to say, hey, advertise our product, our service, or whatever, it's all been scams. Whether they're trying to scam me or they want me to scam you, it's all scams. I say that there's been one company who's reached out to me to do videos and that sort of thing, but they don't really fall in line with the channel. They want me to show you how to deploy stuff on their hosting provider or their hosting solution, rather than providing it, in-house, basically, on your own local hardware. And it feels disingenuous to advertise their product and service when the whole goal of my channel is to teach you how to not pay these people for those services. I've been fighting with that. And yeah, anyway, let me go back to comments for a minute here. I'm interested in Proxmox. Would love some pointers on how to do it. Video. Carl, I've made a lot of videos about Proxmox. If there are specific things that you'd like to see, I'm all ears. So inspiring to see how you're fighting your medical battles. Do you have any tips on others going through tough times? Hold on, I gotta check this real quick. Oh, that's fine. Don't do it the way I've been doing it, the way I did it for a long time, and that's keeping it all bottled up and making you angry. I'm fortunate that my wife has been amazing to help me through all of this in the last 8 years. We've been together for, it'll be 11 years this October, November. It'll be 11 years we've been together. We actually got married in the ICU while I was in the hospital in 2016. Then, in fact, the hospital did a whole write-up about it on their website, on their blog. Find somebody to talk to your doctors. Don't let them railroad you. It's very, very normal for a doctor to have an overblown caseload right now because of everything going on in the world, and they're burnt out, they're stressed out, and you have to either advocate for yourself diligently, or you need to have somebody who can do it on your behalf if you can't. And it can be rough. It really can. And that feeling of hopelessness and helplessness while you're recovering, while you're going through stuff, sucks. It is one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. And I can say that as somebody who's literally been run over by a logging truck, fully loaded. I would rather do that than deal with what I'm dealing with the medical stuff. Like it's the medical stuff like this, literally debilitating medical stuff is an awful, awful place to be mentally and physically. So find an advocate who can help you talk to your doctors, somebody you can talk to about what you're dealing with. That's really all I can say at this point. I'm overweight, going to the gym, using a cross trainer. Carl, that's great. Like that's really good information. He says I'm overweight too. I'm going to the gym using a cross trainer. I started with interval programs. I'm at 5-6 months in now. Had to increase resistance from 30 to 35 on the machines. No, that's amazing, dude. That's so good that you're getting those levels of improvements. And with continuing with Carl here, touchy subject, but there are alternate texts besides YouTube like BitChute and Rumble. You're not wrong, but they pay even less. And trying to maintain all of those different accounts has been like I've got a Rumble account. I've got accounts on a few different platforms, and it's so much to try to maintain that my mental health just can't sustain it is the problem. I don't have the wherewithal to consistently upload on YouTube as it is. But then when you start tacking on additional platforms and trying to manage all of that, it's overwhelming. It's daunting. It's scary. And I know maybe people are going to look down on me for saying that, but it's the truth. There are days where I can't even get on YouTube to watch other creators that I like to watch because the idea of being on YouTube, it just shatters my soul some days. So there's that. Yeah, like Nighthawk said, it's almost like a penalty for making more content over less. It is, and like I said, my views are more consistent now, like the kind of 4,000 to 7,000 range. I can expect that across videos, and that's great. but when YouTube is getting paid $15 to $18 per thousand impressions, and I'm getting paid 3 of that, 4,000 views is $12. I spend days writing scripts and editing and recording video and recording the product, or recording the B-roll for the tutorials, and recording me, and then I spend all of this time doing the recording and the editing and uploading, and to get 4,000 views to make $12 is disheartening. It's demotivating. I love creating content. I do. I love coming up with an idea or getting offered a product to share, and I love the creation process. I love it. That's why I do it. But when I know that I'm going to make $12 in revenue from the 3 or 4 days I spent making this video, it's demoralizing. It really is. And again, like the advertisers who have come to me lately, for the most part, have all been scams. I had actually planned on making a video about a scam that I almost fell for recently. And I've got the script written. It's sitting in one of my note programs that I'm self-hosting on a server back there. But it's, hold on one second. The kid's going to come through here. Yeah, no, we're good. Kid's going to go jump on the trampoline, so he's going to pass through the frame here. Hey, dude, go ahead. You got it? Cool, thank you. Will you close that, please? No, go through and then close it. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. So yeah, like I almost fell for the scam. Like and it was a Windows key scam. Look, here's the thing. The selling of third-party Windows keys isn't technically illegal. The problem with it is you don't know how those keys came to be. You don't know how they acquired the keys. You don't know if those keys are going to last at all. It might have been part of a volume license key, where they got 500 seats and they're selling them for $20 a piece, which more than covers the volume license key. But if Microsoft sees that that's what's going on, they can just cancel all of those keys at any given point. So it's a crapshoot across the board. And they were going to pay me a couple $100 for an ad spot. But then there was some things they said that made me question what was going on. I'll probably still make the video, but that was a couple $100 that I decided not to take because I didn't want to run the risk of running a scam by proxy. Odyssey, yeah, Carl. Odyssey is actually one I've got an account on. Rumble, no, and you're fine to mention it, but they don't pay. They don't pay. Like, Odyssey has their own like crypto token thing that you might be able to use to promote your videos, but then it's completely up to me, basically e-begging, like, hey, if you really enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, there are some links down below, so you can go over to like my Patreon or my YouTube memberships or my PayPal or whatever. And it's basically e-begging at this point, hoping that I'm not essentially selling my soul for the kindness of others. It's basically what it boils down to. Maybe it's a total subscriber count. Maybe Nighthawk. I'm not sure. But it's I don't know what the deal is, but all of my revenue is down across the board. And it's been hard. Let's see your videos. Really glad to hear it, Cypher. I'm really glad that my content has been helpful to you. I do appreciate knowing that. Let's see. Left to live my life when she cheated on me, was defrauded out of a significant amount of money. I fell into deep depression. Yeah, dude, true passion, that sucks. I am sorry you had to deal with that. I can't imagine dealing with the emotional stress of the first part and then the financial stress of the second. I just can't imagine. Yeah, Travis, the R's videos did fairly well. They really did. And they did well for years until one day YouTube was like, oh yeah, you're not allowed to put that up. Hundreds of other creators can make the exact same videos you did, but you can't. And that was super frustrating too. Like, there are a lot of videos out there about the R's stack and how to set them up. And even in my videos, I didn't show how to acquire media. I didn't show any of that, but because I showed how to set up to just configure sonar, radar, jacket, and qubit torrent, I got demonetized on all of that. Got community guideline strikes. It was a whole crap catastrophe. So I can't make those videos anymore, even though they did really well. Hey, Jorge, how you doing? Glad you're here. Good to see you again. Yeah, I like Nighthawk said, Jim's Garage got dinged for just making a Plex video. But you know, like, I love Linus Tech Tips and his whole LMG, the whole Linus Media Group. I love them, but they get privileges that the rest of us don't. They get to make Plex videos. They get to do the wink wink nod nod kind of thing about setting up software to acquire media. They get to show how to not really hack your hardware, but really hack your hardware. They get to make those videos, and even if those videos do get demonetized, they're making 5 to 6 figures per integration that they do. So if a video gets demonetized, yeah, that sucks, and they're out a few $1,000s, but their sponsors cover that. So the playing field isn't even across the board with what kind of content is allowed and what kind of content isn't, and that's super frustrating too. Jim helped me beat my bad mental state. I believe that, Carl. The wife and I've been going and like to the park, walking around the park lately. That's near our house. There's a lake here, and there's an actual path that goes around it. Hey, dude, close the door. Thank you. Go. Appreciate it. And the path around it is about a mile, and there are multiple Poke Stops and Poke Gyms and that sort of thing around there. So we play Pokemon Go and we walk the trail and we feed the squirrels and we do that, and that's been a big help, both for my mental and physical health. So that's been really nice. James says, I had surgery on my heart in 2007. Have a damaged spinal column down. Did they nick a nerve or something? And you have to answer. I can only imagine what may have gone wrong there while they were in there dicking with stuff. Cyberpunk, glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Do appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, like it's the last, basically since January, my inability to create content has caused my channel to take a hit in views and subscribers and finances and all of that. And it's for a while I thought I was slowly recovering, but the reality is my revenue is way down, even though it doesn't reflect. Like, yes, my views are technically down from where they have been in the past, but my revenue is way further down than the views should be. The math isn't mathing, as we said earlier. Let's see. Carl says, after my mom had to change her heart valve, after almost dying 4 times in 6 months, made me start watching my diet and starting to exercise. That's great, Carl. Like sometimes you got to take the motivation where it comes. I hope your mom's doing okay. I hope you're doing better. It says you mentioned that you're doing better. But yeah, no, I'm glad you got the motivation to do what you needed to do there. So, yeah. So like I said earlier, I'm working on some different scripts. I've got another Open Media Vault 7 video coming. The script is written. I just need to come out here and record it. But I need to get that done so I can hopefully release it tomorrow. I'll probably still do the video on the scam that I almost fell for, and the other, there was another scam that followed that actually happened yesterday, I think, or company tried to get me to promote a scam, basically, or maybe it wasn't even a scam, but it was a gambling site, and I'm not going to get into advertising gambling stuff. I'm sure it pays well, but I'm not going to promote something that could trigger an addiction like that. I know gambling addiction is a real thing, and I don't want to promote it. So yeah, there's that. So I've definitely got, like I said, I've got the Open Media Vault 7 video. I've got I've got that one I've already written. I've got the scam script mostly written. Um, I've got more content coming about the HL15 and some stuff I'm doing with that. I don't have that script written yet. Yeah, so that's kind of where things are at the moment, as far as all of that is concerned. I'm trying to come up with other ideas on ways that I can generate some revenue, and that's, it is what it is. I will figure it out. I always do. It's just with everything that's been going on, it's kind of one more layer of the crap cake, So, so yeah, I'm creating content. I'm trying to stay active, and I'm trying to stay in a better mental health space lately. But with everything going on, some days are better than others. So let's see, any other comments that I may have missed. Travis, thank you for becoming a supporter. Really do appreciate that. By becoming a supporter, whether it's on here on YouTube, becoming a channel member, or Patreon, either one of those will give you access to my content with no ads. I don't do baked in ads. I don't do sponsored ads. I don't do any of that. It's just the content in its pure form. Travis, thank you for your comment there. I do appreciate it. Oh, damn. I'm really sorry to hear that, James. They also spread my ribcage too far, and now I have constant drop attacks. Dude, it sounds like they had to have hit a nerve or pinched something. That's awful. I hope they're helping you with that, because I can't imagine having random stuff like that happening. That doesn't sound like any fun at all. So I hope they're helping you with that. All right, let's see. Scroll back up here and see if I missed anything. Oh, let's see. Lewis says, what do you think about OSINT? I've been looking for some OSINT containers that would help with OSINT, but I think OSINT is neat. And I don't know if you're going to find many containers for it. I don't know that I don't know if I've ever really seen an OSINT container out there. As far as Razor and Nighthawk here both talking about home automation, that sort of thing. I've gotten into Home Assistant a bit. I got it all set up and haven't really touched it in a bit with everything else going on. But in fact, you can't see it. Maybe I can. Right above my monitor there's a little white dot. Right above that screen, there's a little white dot. And that is an Aqara presence sensor. And it's actually set up in here so that it detects whether or not somebody is in here, and it turns on all of my lights except for that one. That one is plugged in. I don't have that one smart homed yet, but all of the blue lights behind me, the rack, the shelves, the lights that are lighting me up here on the sides, all of that is set to turn on or off depending on whether or not there's somebody here in the room. And that's all done through Home Assistant. The problem that I have with doing Home Assistant stuff is there are a lot of people out there making some really, really amazing Home Assistant content, and I will definitely dumb down the overall IQ of the Home Assistant community if I start making content about it at this point. I've been working with it. I've been trying it. I've been testing stuff out, but I'm not nearly as proficient as I need to be before I jump into Home Assistant as far as that content is concerned, because I will get decimated, and my sad self can't take that right now. See, Hunter said, what are your thoughts on downsizing full servers like a Dell R430 and 720 to mini PCs? Not really utilizing the servers fully, but concerned on storage space and cost per mini PC. So I actually started with single board computers, the Zima Blade, the Zima board, little NAS devices, all that kind of stuff is actually where I started, and it wasn't until recently that I got the HL15 back there. Um, Here would be my recommendation on something like that. If you've got the budget and you want to downsize to, lower your power consumption overhead, things like that, get yourself a small, reliable, affordable NAS. Put some hard drives in it, however many you need that you think that you'll need for your setup, and use that for your storage. And then you can use single board computers for your compute stuff. I don't know what you're doing. That I should start with that, but like I've still got a couple of mini PCs running most of my home lab infrastructure, even the stuff that you guys access, like DB Tech Reviews. That's hosted here. I've got several services that are currently being run on mini PCs in the rack behind me, because they are low power. 25, 30 watts, whatever the case is. In fact, this B-Link EQ13 is like 25 watts. And it has a built-in power supply. So like this section of it right here is power supply, and it's like 25 watts. It's got dual gig LAN. It's got lots of USB, a couple of HDMI. I'm actually going to do a review video on it soon, showing how to set it up as a small or a low powered home server. That's actually my plan with that video. So if you can put your storage in, say, a NAS, or if you can get, a couple of terabytes of hard drive space to throw in a mini PC. Again, I don't know what you're hosting, but like, things like AdGuard or Pi-hole, password managers, WordPress sites, websites, things like that don't require a lot of power. They don't require a lot of processing power until you start dealing with media. So for all of your smaller, like not media containers, mini PCs are an awesome way to go. In fact, for a while, I had Proxmox 3-node high availability cluster set up on some Zima boards. They were like 8 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs onboard storage, which I wasn't using. I just had a USB plugged in for the OS, and then had an NFS share for a while on one of my NAS drives. They were connected at 1 gig to the network. My NAS was connected at 10 gig to the network. You'd never know it wasn't in a data center. It was so fast. So there are lots of ways that you can use low-powered devices to have a very, very solid home lab configuration on the cheap. Like this, again, this B-Link is a couple $100, and it's got, I think, it doesn't say. Oh, it's an N100, so 4 cores, 4 threads, and I think 16 gigs of RAM, and I think it's got a 512 gig boot drive in it, but it's got a spot for another, I think, M.2 drive in it. So, let's see. That was finally Jellyfin was released for my LG TV, so I'm looking into reinstalling my server with Proxmox running MediaVault 7 virtual machine. That's cool, Carl. I hope that works out for you. Home Assistant, Travis Rhodes says Home Assistant is something I've yet to dabble in, but it's been on my list. I might make some videos, just some basic, like, here's me installing it, and here's everything on my network it noticed, and here's how I'm going to set it up. I might do something real basic like that, but when it comes to the custom stuff, there are so many better creators out there for that right now. And they refuse to do anything. Let's see, regarding Home Assistant, that's not true. Jorge, thank you. I appreciate that. He says, regarding the Home Assistant, that's not true. The difference is the way you explain things. That's why we're here. Thank you. I genuinely do appreciate that. You should create a video on Nextcloud AIO. Here's the thing about Nextcloud AIO. The problem that I have with Nextcloud AIO is that it's Nextcloud. I have tried almost yearly for the past several years to like it, to find a use for it. And look, I know there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people that use it. I just genuinely cannot find a way to implement it into my life without feeling like I'm wedging it in there, forcing it in there in order to make it work for me. I can't find a natural way to do it, and that will come across in my videos. I've run into this in the past where it absolutely comes across in my videos. If I'm not interested in a topic, it comes across, and I take a lot of heat for that, and rightfully so. And that's why I've been steering away from the Nextcloud stuff. Cyberpunk says, I'm actually wanting to get into Raspberry Pis. I've been watching a lot of Jeff Geerling. You know, I have, I think four Raspberry Pi 4s and a Raspberry Pi 5 here in the studio, just sitting there almost doing nothing, except that this TV right here with that looping video is just a Raspberry Pi with Raspberry Pi OS with VLC just looping a couple of clips. That's all that Raspberry Pi 4 does. It just sits there and does that. My car stereo, I've got a Raspad touchscreen like device. Basically, it's a touchscreen that is built on a Raspberry Pi platform, so that you can learn programming and you can learn how to use the GPIO stuff and that sort of thing. I actually turned it into the touchscreen interface for the audio system in my car. I made a video about that, and that was fun. I've done 2 different videos on that. The first one was just a Raspberry Pi with a Raspberry Pi touchscreen where I 3D printed some stuff and made it work. And then the 3D prints didn't hold up with the extreme weather that we have in Colorado. So I had a Raspad and I was like, screw it, I'm going to do this. I've had it for more than a year. It's been great. And Cypher, yes, you can run Proxmox on a USB drive. I did it for more than a year. I had some 16 gig. No, they were 64 gig USB, little tiny thumb drives. They just barely poked out at all. I put Proxmox 7 dot something on there, and that was my OS drive on 3 different nodes for more than a year. Never had an issue with it. Oh yeah. In fact, let me see. Did I? Oh geez, breaking stuff. Oh, you know what? I'm actually glad you said Zima Blade. I genuinely am. Because here is my Zima Blade. I did a video installing Proxmox on this. And right there, that's my OS drive. That's just a little USB like that. That's how big it is. And this one is tiny lighting. 128 gigs for this drive. And then I've also got just a 2.5 inch SSD in there. No idea what size it is. It's a 1 terabyte. I actually did a video installing Proxmox on that. Did okay, but no, the hardware works great for a low powered Proxmox setup if you wanted to go that route. And in fairness, Nighthawk is right. It's not advised. It's not recommended, but you can. Just if you're going to do it, make sure that you've got a good, solid, reputable brand USB drive, or I wouldn't even attempt it. Travis says, oh, hey, James, dude, glad to see you. Glad you're here. I know you had other stuff going on, so I'm glad you could stop by. If you need a good NAS, I can vouch for the Synology DS20 Plus or 920 Plus. It's very powerful. Yeah. So the first one I got from them was the DS1621 XS Plus. Badass machine, Xeon processor, tons of RAM, 6 drives. It's over there somewhere. They also sent me another NAS here a while back that runs the camera station or whatever it's surveillance station for the 2 cameras I've got in my backyard to keep tabs on the kid when he's back there. I know it sounds creepy, but he's disabled and needs constant supervision, so we've got cameras back there to keep an eye on him. Let's see. Figure as much. Let's do. Figure as much. Trying to build a mini portable server. Write 2 drives together for Open Media Vault. Yeah, Cypher, I still need to do during this Open Media Vault 7 run through with the videos I'm making. I may actually add a couple of virtual drives to it and do a RAID thing on that. I haven't got that far yet. Let's see. Set up Nextcloud and hated it. Switched to Image and it's been great. I was even able to pass through a 27 Super for CUDA acceleration. That's cool. That's really cool, Travis. I may actually do something like that for a video at some point. Storage driver NVMe. Yep, that's good. Let's see. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Jorge. Glad you were able to join us for a minute. Hope you're able to get the allergies under control. Do eSATA. I don't know. Again, James, I'm sorry if you deleted that. Okay. If not, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. I use Nextcloud in replacement to a NAS. It's hosted on Proxmox. Yeah, like, and Razer, I thought about doing something like that with it, because like when I originally set it up, I used it for a while and it was fine, but I didn't have a good backup strategy in place and I lost it. So that was my fault, but the whole experience put a sour taste in my mouth about it. And since then I've been trying to try it again every once in a while, and I can't find a way to make it work into my workflow, the things I do, the way I run things. I can't make Nextcloud fit for some reason. So that's why I just haven't gone back to it. Oh, is it still out of focus? Let me here. Hopefully, sorry about that. I'm trying to use Proxmox again. I'm currently running on XCP&G, but my automations don't run the same, and I can't set IPs with Terraform like I can with XOA. Huh. I hope you get that fixed, Cyberpunk. That sounds kind of frustrating. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything else up here. The minis are supposed to be really good. Yeah, so Nighthawk said the N100 and N305 minis are supposed to be really good on the 11th and 12th gen. I'm somebody, and I feel like a jerk for not. Let me hold on. I got to look something up here real quick. Really, we're gonna be like that, are we? Fine, we'll do it over here. Sorry, I'm looking something up specifically about this little mini PC I've got. I feel like such a jerk because my brain's being dumb right now. Let me just look it up this way. Come on, really? We're gonna be like that. EQ 13. Oh, it was Tech Hut recently made a video about the EQ. I almost dropped the EQ 13 mini PC, and he says it's the perfect low power mini PC. I don't share that excitement about it, if I'm being completely honest. I ran into some issues while dealing with the Windows that it came with. Updates, I had nothing but problems with updates, but I'm going to make a video about how to set it up as a little mini low powered home server instead. Did find a video about Ventway USB drives. It's a lifesaver when installing different OS. Etc. I don't need 15 USB sticks with different OS on it. I just need one. Yeah, I agree with that. The thing about it is, Ventway gets brought up a lot in comment sections and that sort of things as a meme, and I'm maybe I should make a video on Ventway just to continue the joke. I think there was something before Ventway that I'd used in the past, but I can't remember what it was for the life of me. In fact, it was probably replaced by Ventway. Let's see. The N100 and N305 is supposed to do AV1 encode and decode. That would be really neat. I hope that's the case. Again, I ran into it, like every time I would try to do Windows updates on this device, on this EQ13, man, it would just max out all 4 cores 100% for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, made the whole thing unusable. It was really it was really not a great experience when I was doing that. So, in fact, I went back and forth with the folks at B-Link about it, and we're going to go a different route with the video for that. Are people going to AV1? Man, I'm still mostly using H.264. I know H.265 is higher bit rates at lower file sizes and that sort of thing. But I really need to figure out how to use TDAR on one of my devices out here to actually go through and recompress everything to be consistent, because all of the media I've got is all over the place with its codecs and its containers and all of that sort of stuff. And I'd like to have something that's consistent, but I can't find an actual good tutorial that isn't like 8 hours long. It seems like I know Techno Tim did a video about how he saved X number of terabytes, but I didn't feel like it was a very thorough video, and maybe that was just me. But I didn't get out of it what I needed to learn how to use TDAR. And so I need to figure it out. I tried to run it last night on a library I had brought over from the server to the computer I'm on now, and it acted like it was doing something. And then when I woke up this morning, there was nothing. Like there were videos in the cache drive, and or in the cache folder, all of the stuff. And when I woke up this morning to check it, there was nothing in the cache or the complete. Nothing had changed. So I'm just super frustrated. I need to figure that out. Mostly again, so I can have all of my stuff be consistent. Just to get more consistent experience across my viewing experiences. Okay, so Travis says unmanic. Come on, don't quit. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Unmanic library optimizer. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that because I need something to re-encode everything. Self. Huh. Let's see. From any PC, I just look for as much M.2 slots as possible. There are M.2 to Oculink adapters out there if you want. Yeah. So I'm actually, I just got my first device that supports Oculink and even USB 4. And I'm trying to get a hold of one of those devices, just for that reason. Like the AOStar Gem 12 that I just reviewed a couple of days ago actually has two NVMe 4 slots in it, which is super nice. And then, of course, like I mentioned in that video, Kingston hooked me up. They sent me a couple of 2 terabyte drives. What happened after that, though, I haven't... If you follow me on social media, you might have seen this. Basically, what happened was they sent me... Kingston sent me a 32 gig kit of RAM for that device, as well as two 2 terabyte drives. When I got the packaging inside the box was mangled. So I documented everything via video, sent that to him. I'm like, hey, I don't know what happened here, but this is what I got. So we went back and forth, and they were like, hey, look, we're going to take care of this. Don't worry about it. Also, while we're chatting, is there anything else you'd be interested in reviewing or taking a look at? And I was like, I've been buying Kingston stuff for years, hard drives and SD cards and things like that. And I've been using this Kingston 16 gig USB drive for like 5 years now, and it's brilliant. So anyway, they sent me another little care package with another 32 gig kit of RAM, and a 1 terabyte USB 3 drive, and two 4 terabyte NVMe 4 drives. And that, dude, I was literally like speechless when I saw what they had sent. So anyway, I want to take that computer a step farther. Yes, I know it's got 6 terabytes of hard drive space in it, minus overhead and whatnot. But because the folks at Banggood sent me that device. There's actually an eGPU that I want to get from them to review, to talk about, and that sort of thing here on the channel. But of course, I emailed them last night, or I emailed them Thursday night, which was Friday. The timing didn't work out. I'll hear back from them earlier this week, I'm sure, but I would still like to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at Unmanic so that I can hopefully streamline all of my content into one consistent thing. Nighthawk says that it's good, but yet to find either to do a good job on volume normalization. I don't worry too much about volume normalization. Plex can usually do some of that, so I'm not too worried about that. Travis, dude, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support with the channel membership there. That's been amazing. Thank you. Mr. Japan says, hey, thanks for doing all the Docker tutorials. They've helped me out so much in the last 4 years. I'm glad to know that. I really am. I'm going to keep doing them as long as I can until YouTube bleeds me dry financially effectively. I say that. That's not how I meant to say it. But until they quit paying me, basically, and they're on their way. But I'm going to keep making content as long as I can, as long as it makes sense. As long as you guys keep watching, whatever. That's my goal. Jelly Duck, dude, it's been a long time. How you been, man? I'm really glad you stopped by. We've been following each other on Twitter and all kinds of stuff for years now. But yeah, no, just good to see you here, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna keep making content as long as I can, as long as it makes sense. Until I gotta go get a real job, where I'm making money for somewhere else. Hunter, honestly, the easiest, the best way. Okay. Hunter asks, what's the best way for us to support you? The bleeding heart in me says, just go watch my content. However, if you want to support financially, you can become a channel member, which, here's the thing, if you become a channel member, that's great, except that YouTube takes half of that. You can become a patron, and I get, Patreon takes a very small chunk of that, in the grand scheme of things, because I've been on Patreon for so long. I got grandfathered into their initial deal where they take a very, very small percentage. It's like 1 or 2%. Like, it's very, very small. Or you can just go to my PayPal, and you can support that way as well. Those are like the four ways to do that. I had an eShop down below my videos, but that wasn't a good idea. So yeah, that's how you can do that. All of those links should be like below all of my videos. In fact, I think below this video even, there should be like a link down there. Let me see. Let me make sure. Make sure that is muted so we don't do that. Yeah, down below the video, if you go down to where it says like all my social links, it'll take you over to all kinds of different ways that you can support the channel. Let's see. You're also responsible for me spending way too much money on gear. Yeah, that happens. I apologize, Mr. Japan. Hunter says, I know it might be a touchy subject. Sorry, just tired of Google taking my money. Yeah, I get it. I do. And so yeah. So the other ways, whether it's Patreon, whether it's whether it's PayPal, whatever, it's all helpful in the grand scheme of things. Suro says, let's do Patreon. If you want to do that, I'm not going to stop you. That would be amazing. It definitely is a huge help. Sorry, I'm getting, oh crap. One of the things I hate about notifications, when you slide down that notification tray and you swipe, and you're swiping the next thing in the list and something pops up in the middle and you swipe it away. I don't know what I swiped away, and that's frustrating. Let me see if I can find it. History. I don't know what I swiped away there. Notification history. Notification history. Oh. Someone I know I'm going to jack this up. Abdel Kadar, I apologize. I know I screwed that up. Thank you for joining on Patreon. That's what I had just swiped away. So yeah. So anyway, thank you for that. It really does mean a lot. Um, hey, Raps. It's good to see you, man. It's been 4 months since we did one of these. Yeah, I am live. I have been for just over an hour now, which honestly I'd plan on doing like 45 minutes if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, decided to come out here and do it before it gets too hot. I think we're supposed to have a high of like 90 something today, which isn't bad, except again, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have AC and that sucks. Oh wait, I lied. High of 88, so not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's awesome. And then like high of 76 tomorrow, so even better tomorrow. Glenn Johnson says, yeah, I'm all about Patreon. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take a look at Unmanic and see about getting that installed. Looks like they had a release in May. Source code. They've got... Man, do they have like a Windows app? Which I know sounds completely disingenuous to everything we do on the channel. But let's see. Installation, requirements. Looks like the requirements are Docker. Interesting. Oh, let's see. Or ffmpeg install. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like I may have to do something with Docker in order to get that set up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to take a look at Unmanic because I need something. Installation on Synology, huh? Oh, that is gotcha. That is a Docker container as well. Unraid Docker. Maybe it's not Docker on Synology. Sure does look like it though. Huh. Yeah, I'll definitely have to take a look at that because I'm not super happy. Not super happy with TDAR. Hurts. Yeah, Patreon for the win, says James Collins. Nighthawk says the temps aren't bad. It's just the heat index that hurts and the humidity too, dude. Like I can't imagine what you're dealing with down there, especially now. Like I was in Georgia in August of '01. Well, from August to February of '01 and '02. And when I got off of the airplane at Atlanta, the heat and the humidity literally hit me like a wall. Like I had to force myself to breathe to get to continue to breathe. It was such a drastic difference from being in Idaho where I'd lived for so long, where it was just hot and dry, and here I'm walking into hot and like I was just soaking wet. It was awful. So let's see what else. Patreon it is. PayPal and I have a hate relationship. Yeah, like I've got mixed feelings on PayPal myself, but they've also come in clutch a few times for me, so I kind of get it. The doctors said I have great health, and I asked in what world. I'm really sorry that they're trying to gaslight you like that, man, because that's what it sounds like. I'm glad you got your support system that's working for you. I think that's really important. Let's see. Glenn says, you got me into self-hosting and I was more than happy to join your Patreon. I've moved my hosting to an Unraid server, which everything you taught me translates to. That's amazing. That's really cool. I like that stuff translates over because again, I've never really touched Unraid. I've got no experience with it at all. So I'm really glad that all of that translated over. So that's really cool. Mr. Japan, thank you. I really appreciate your support there. I mean, I guess I can share it. Hold on one second. In fact, you know what? I'll just copy. Let's just do this. Just so we've got them. There's my Patreon. Let me bump this over to there. Oh, you know what? I lied. There's one other way that you guys could support me if you wanted to. There's my PayPal link. If you guys do any shopping on Amazon, there's my Amazon affiliate link. So there's Patreon, PayPal, and Amazon. Like, so yeah, if you guys shop on Amazon at all, if you click that link and go over there, I won't be able to see what you specifically bought, but I'll still get a kickback for anything that you buy. And that's a way that you can get stuff and support me simultaneously without really changing anything other than that one click. Um, let's see. Let's see. Where's the PayPal link? We already did that. I appreciate your apology, but it is not your fault. Oh, you're in South Carolina. Yeah. Yeah, that's why they call it Hotlanta. That is no joke. Um, yeah, right. Like so the reason I was in Georgia from like August to February was basic training, and I think I was real close to Savannah. I guess so. I was at Fort Benning for basic training back then. I guess it's been renamed since then, which I just found out yesterday. God, it sure did, didn't it? Damn it! I really need to switch over to my other camera. I think for live streams, the my camera's stupid when it decides what it's going to do. So thank you for calling my attention to that. Hopefully it'll get better here in just a second. Um, oh yeah. So anyway, when I got off the airplane to go to reception at Fort Benning, yeah, it was you take a shower, the 30-second shower you'd get every once in a while, and drying off was just a formality. Like you dry off and you're just damp from just the humidity at that point. It was awful. Um, 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 oops. Hold on. No, really? That's weird. Um, do you have an Amazon list of? I do actually have an Amazon shop. Amazon.com/shop/dbtech. I actually haven't updated it in a long time, but it's got, yeah. So there's my Amazon shop. If you buy anything from there, obviously I get a kickback on that too. Um, Ciro says PayPal is on the social links. I just use it. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Tech question: thinking about getting another server. However, Epic Rome CPU. Is there any difference between 6 and 8 memory slots? Are performance issues to think about? Um, if I'm being completely transparent, I don't know. I know that there have been issues with like the AMD consumer or enthusiast chips having issues if you populate all of the RAM slots for some stupid reason. Linus just did a video recently when he was in Taiwan that demonstrated that. I know that there are benefits to using dual channel, quad channel, whatever RAM in certain applications, but I don't have any personal experience with any of that. So I hope that maybe somebody else here can help you with that. Let's see. I had a job training at Fort Gordon. I actually did AIT at Fort Gordon. I spent a few months there, and then was a medical holdover for months when I blew out my knee. So that was fun. A truck driver and he going from through the south, literally sweat from moving. Oh, dude, I believe it. Yeah, I was, like I said, I was there in '01. I was actually in basic training when the 9/11 thing happened in 2001. That screwed up or let me rephrase that. It changed the direction of our training dramatically in that moment. I was actually in the infirmary. I had a fever of like 104. I was drifting in and out of consciousness. They were giving me bottles of water, or they were making me refill my canteen of water and giving me ibuprofen and making me take cold showers. And while I was dealing with all of that and drifting in and out of consciousness, the TV in the corner was on because it was background noise in the infirmary, and I watched it all unfold live. And once once the infirmary got word from higher up, they called us all into a big circle and it's like, look, this is happening. I know some of you are going back to your units and that sort of thing. You are not to make a sound about this. You're not to say anything to anybody about this for any reason. Your drill instructor will disseminate this information when we're ready to do that. But I was there for like a week, so by the time I got back, the information had already been disseminated. But it was insane to watch, and it was crazy to watch the trajectory change of our training in that moment. It was a real crazy time. Mono says, I want to thank you for all of the videos. With your help, along with the Homelands, and your help with me along my Homeland journey. Dude, thank you. I'm guessing Mono. I apologize. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody for the support. It wasn't really what I was shooting for here, but holy crap, guys. Thank you. I'm getting notifications here, and thank you. It really does mean a lot for you guys to do that. It's really going to help. So I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I don't miss being in the South. I was there again in 2009, I think. Not in Georgia. I actually was dating a gal whose sister lived in Georgia, or in Florida. And she had a lease on a car that she didn't want to pay for anymore. So she called her sister, my girlfriend, to say, hey, if you want the car, you can come get it and just take over the payments. So we flew down there and drove back from Florida to Colorado in a couple of days. And it was right after like Hurricane Katrina had happened. It was a really interesting drive. It was a very pretty drive. But while you're driving through Louisiana and all of the aftermath of Katrina was a very sombering experience. But yeah, I guess 12 or 13 years ago, I spent some time in Texas a couple of different times just visiting some friends. But I don't like to go south. It just gets so gross. In fact, even going back to Idaho sucks. Like their temperatures are hot and dry and just miserable. So I like it here in Colorado, where the temperatures are never consistent. And they fluctuate constantly. Like you always get a fluctuation of temperatures and that sort of thing. So I'm a big fan of being here in Colorado. Let's see. Once you pass the state line from Georgia to Florida, you're heading north again. Yeah. As a New Yorker, I'm not claiming Florida, thanks. Yeah, I don't blame you. Like I said, I was only there for less than a week, and that was enough. Amazing food, though. Prior to having gone down there, I had worked at a Cuban restaurant. So when we went down there, we hit a couple of Cuban restaurants. Amazing food down there. If you go to some of the authentic places, amazing food down there. But yeah, no desire to go back to Florida. I got a speeding ticket down there and I never paid it, so I don't want to go back. Besides all of the other nonsense down there, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to drive in Florida anymore. But that was 15 years ago. So yeah. Let's see. To make sure I haven't missed anything going through this. Hosting, join Patreon. Man, you guys keep bringing up Unraid. Maybe I really should do some content on that. There's one channel who does a lot of Unraid content, and his name escapes me. Unraid. It's not him and not him. Nope. Oh, literally, earlier I had mentioned that Tech Hut had done a video on the EQ13, and literally 2 hours ago he released a video about Linux, Proxmox, Unraid, and more. Man, I feel like such a jerk who I cannot remember. Ibracorp, that's who it is. Ibracorp does a lot of Unraid stuff. And they, in fact, let me go check them out real quick. No, don't play that. Videos. Dude, he gets great views on that. Maybe I should take a look at Unraid. Maybe I should do that. You guys think I should? Let me know. I'll figure something out as far as hardware and that kind of thing. Let's see. Another tech question. I have 45 Docker servers with Portainer. I have to log into them each and manage them. Can I manage them with one instance? So in that case, if you wanted to go that route, you'd want to use Mr. Japan. I apologize. You'd want to use like Portainer agents, and then basically you would install the Portainer agent on each of the different different servers that you've got, and then connect all of those to one of your Portainer instances, and then you'd be able to manage all of those different Portainer servers that you've got set up from one dashboard. That's what Portainer agents are for. Yeah, James says that was my favorite part of living in Tampa. The Cuban food was outstanding, dude. Cuban food is so good. The restaurant that I worked at here in town was owned by a couple. He was Cuban, she was Colombian. I ended up dating her later after they got divorced. In fact, she's the one I went to Florida with. But yeah, the food there was amazing. We had the cooks, the cooks didn't speak any English, which is how you know the food's going to be good. Or they spoke very little English. But while I was there, I learned some Spanish, and that was a lot of fun. There was one time we were packed, and they knew I didn't speak Spanish. Like, they knew that. But one time I went back there and I was like, hey, where's my food for table 13 or something? But I said it in Spanish, and they realized I had done that, and the whole kitchen went silent for like 30 seconds. It's the funniest thing. But yeah, I had a lot of fun there. The food was amazing. Love Cuban food. There's a little place fairly close to me that also does Cuban food, but I've only had their sandwiches because I've only been there once. But I need to go check it out there. I'm in Virginia. I need to move north. It's been pushing 100 for like 2 weeks. That sucks. Yeah, that's no fun at all. You can use the Portainer agent for just that. Yep. Space Invader and IbraCorp. Yep. It's Tanmay. It's not Tim. I was looking for IbraCorp. Tim has also done some Unraid stuff as well. But I was specifically looking for IbraCorp with regards to that one particular brain fart I was having. I'm going to screw this up. Mr. Pedro from Portugal, thank you for stopping by, checking out the channel, the stream today. Really do appreciate it. Do it. I'd love to see your take on Unraid. Man, I'm going to have to dig around and find some hard drives to throw in a NAS and do that probably then. Let's see. Nighthawk says it's always good to try new stuff. That's weird. You know, I just noticed, like, okay, so James Collins and Nighthawk are moderators on my Discord server. So if you join over there and you're a dick, they've got control to do whatever they want with you. But I'm just noticing that Nighthawk is a moderator in my chat and James Collins isn't. Interesting. Huh. I can fix that if you want me to, James. Completely up to you. Don't want to put anything on your plate you don't want to take on. And if Nighthawk, if you didn't want to be a moderator, I apologize. I'm not sure what happened there, but here we are. Or maybe I did and I just don't remember. Anyway. Let's see. I think you'd like it. Swarm is more of a Kubernetes adjacent. Yeah, I tried Swarm for a while and I didn't really like it. And Kubernetes just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I know a lot of people use it and it's huge out there. It just doesn't make sense to me. In Orangeburg, South Carolina today, calling for a high of 102. Yuck. I don't even know what else to say to that other than yuck. Medvardson says hello from Norway. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here to check out the stream today. Glenn says, what attracted me to Unraid was the ability to use different size drives for the array. Yeah, I could see how that would be nice. Nighthawk says, IbraCorp helped me with a few things when I was getting started with Unraid a while back as a test. James, I will take a look at that for you later so you can be a mod on here too. Let's see. Nighthawk says we're good. We discussed a while back. I thought we did, but my brain's dumb lately. So yeah, and then he also says I wanted to try Swarm, but didn't have a good reason. Yeah, like I said, I had a Swarm set up, and then I didn't really have a use for it. So then I got into Proxmox and set up a cluster, a high availability cluster for that, and I didn't have any reason to do that either, but I did it anyway. And then decided to scrap it and go a different route when one of my nodes crashed. And I was just like, F it, I'm gonna go do something else. So I had a mini PC. It was a damn, it was an S15. I can't think of who made it though. I'm still in use. Um, 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 but yeah, so that was yeah. I tried Docker Swarm and then didn't like it, so I switched to Proxmox. Did a high availability cluster and did that for more than a year on um, those Zima boards, not Zima blades, Zima boards. And did high availability on that as well. And then one day it crashed, and I was like, let's just go back to a single node. Um, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with. Oops, copy link. Here is. Hey, it's JD. We're gonna paste that in there. That if you want to donate via PayPal, that's how you can do that. I agree with Nighthawk that sharing email addresses isn't a great idea. I've got all kinds of extra authentication on there, but I just don't want to run the risk. Right, Docker Swarm does sound cool, so that's why. Yeah, I think that's honestly why I tried it. I was just curious. It's like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, and it was fine, but I didn't really have a use for it. So, yeah, so I went the other route with it. Um, let's see. Oh, let's see. Um, yeah, JD, again, thanks for stopping by. It's been months, like the title of the video says. It's been like 4 months. And part of that was my mental health. Part of that was my physical health. A part of it it was getting so hot. Like right now, it's only 82 degrees here in the studio, which is fine. I can deal with that. But there have been days I've been out here recording videos where it's been like 90, 95, and it makes it hard to get out here to do a stream when I know that the temps are going to get crazy out of control. And all I've got is a little like an evaporative cooler fan over here that I need to clean up and use, but it's kind of loud and I don't want it to affect my audio. I don't know. I'm probably being overly picky, but I gotta pick my battles and see which ones I can win for myself, you know? So that's honestly, that's why I haven't been doing as many live streams. Part of it, again, mental health stuff, but a lot of it lately, especially lately, has been heat related because there's no climate control in this room other than that fan and a little space heater that goes under my desk when I'm out here in the winter when it's 4 degrees or whatever. So yeah. Oh, maybe get me a portable AC. I've actually, so it's funny. I've got a couple of. I had one of those that like there was like a big unit that just kind of sits in the room with the tube that comes off of it. I actually had one of those in here with an exhaust that blew out into the garage. Haha, Mr. Japan, that would be cool with his little dab there. That's funny. So yeah. So no, like here's the thing, right? Like if I get this evaporative cooler set up, like it's got a bucket that goes in the bottom of it. It actually came with ice packs that you can like refreeze and that sort of thing. I can usually drop the temperature in here 10 or 15 degrees. If I get out here early enough, before it gets hot, I can keep the temperatures low. I'm using the mic in my headset. You are right, Collins. The problem is that so I've got a Focusrite audio interface that I've got my Audio-Technica mic plugged into. And it actually came with plugins to do things like that. And that sort of thing. The problem is they're not working right and I've been too lazy to come out here and fix it. Or the other thing I have to do is like come out here and let the mic run for, like 10 or 15 seconds or whatever before I start recording so that I've got a spot that's just that noise that I can then go in and put into Adobe Audition and have it capture that noise print and remove it. And I could absolutely do that, but I just haven't. I've been trying to get out here earlier in the day to record when I can. Like the kids have been home all this week. and that's been a little bit more difficult. Like you've seen him pass through here a couple of times if you were here earlier in the stream. But yeah, like him being around, like he's noisy. He's nonverbal autistic, and so he makes a lot of his own self-soothing noises as part of his stimming to help him regulate. But sometimes they get really loud and really monotonous and very, very, very. They go on for a long time. If I'm not able to redirect him and help him find other things to do. And I don't just mean me. The wife is way better about that than I am. But yeah, so I've been trying to work around a lot of that stuff. But yeah, no, I really should just see how well it would go to have the little evaporative cooler I've got back here. See how much I can adjust the audio to not do that. So yeah. Yeah, the heat will just really drain you. It absolutely will. It's why I'm really glad that we've got the pool back there. Like, it's not fancy. It's big, but it's not fancy. But it's nice to go in and just soak for like 20 to 30 minutes right before bed. Bring the body temperature down. Get some rest. With body temperature cool down is actually pretty nice. Close. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I definitely need to subscribe there. Sorry, I'm trying to close out some stuff, but I want to keep some other stuff open. I just want to keep that open. Here's the thing, right? Like, I don't even know if it's plugged in right now, if I'm being completely honest. Oops, that's definitely not the plug. That's not the plug. I don't even know where the plug is. Okay, it is. The fan is now on. It actually feels really nice. The fan is now on. But no, like I said, it's gone up. It's 84 in here now, but it's still fine. So let's see what's next for the HL15. Man, so if you guys have been part of the Discord for even the last few weeks. We recently added a tech support forum in there that I posted some stuff in. So I've got a 2070 in there that I'm doing for video transcode. Oh, you literally can't hear it. Oh, wind on the microphone. Yeah, I should probably get a. Oops. Okay, now no wind on the microphone. I need to get a wind sock or something for that. I'm going to call him a dead cat. Anyway, so with the HL15, I managed to get a GPU pass through with help from Discord and Nighthawk and James and everybody helping me through that and going through forum posts. Finally got the GPU pass through to work. So I dropped a couple of SSDs in there, ran them in I don't know, RAID 0 or whatever Proxbox has for 2 drives. Anyway, put Plex on it, got the GPU pass through done. And then I started having all of these laggy issues where things were locking up. My streams would stop when I was running Plex, all kinds of issues. I was looking through the logs and kept seeing like CPU, Watchdog CPU unresponsive for like 72 seconds over and over and over and over again, different times, but same general idea. So, it's like, okay, well, I'll just restore back to a previously known good version. And I did that, and it took hours to restore this 137 gig of VM. And so, and then I was doing more troubleshooting, and it would crash, and it would start throwing these errors again. So I did this over and over and over, and finally I was like, you know what, screw it. Because I started seeing error messages that made me think that the issue was the SSDs that I was using, whatever. So the SSDs I was using, I think, were the issue, right? Like for a really long time now, I've been using, I think this is one of them. Oh, I lied. There are actually 2 SSDs in this, not just one. Yeah, Silicon Power SSDs are great for a lot of things. As it turns out, not great for running a Plex VM based on my experience. Because then I restored that same 137 gig Plex VM over to spinning metal drives, and it did it in like 45 minutes, and I haven't had any issues since. So, oh yeah, sorry, RAID 1, you're right. But yeah, so as far as upcoming videos, as for that kind of thing, I feel like I need to do a GPU pass-through video. It was one of the things that I actually talked to 45 Drives about with regards to the HL15, doing a video about that. And then I also, another video that I want to do probably after I do that video is taking all of, because I've still got 2 or 3 mini PCs here running trivial little things like a WordPress site and an AdGuard instance and just some other little things like that. And I want to just get everything moved over to the HL15 and decommission all but one of the mini PCs. And I'll just use that one mini PC as a testing environment. I'll put Proxmox on it and do that sort of thing. But I just want to use that as a testing environment for, you know, doing videos and that sort of thing, so that I don't have to put it on. And I know I could set up a testing VM on here, but for some reason my brain thinks that I need to have a little dedicated device to do all of my testing on before I put it in on a production device. I know it doesn't have to be that way, but I got a dumb monkey brain sometimes, and that's what I have to do to get it to shut up. So that's what I do. And maybe I'll do that with this eventually. Maybe I'll throw Proxmox on here and make that my testing environment, because it's got, I think, 2 NVMe drives for storage, and I've got an extra 1 terabyte drive that I could throw in there that I think is the correct generation. So yeah, you guys are saying that the noise isn't bad. So what I'll try to remember to do is, like I said, run the recording for like 15 seconds before I get in, so I can get that noise print, see if I can remove it. And if not, I guess it is what it is. Just some bass noise, but not bad. Okay. Everyone, it's calling for a high of 102 today. Yeah, I can't imagine having health issues and being stuck in temperatures like that. I hope you've got an AC or a swamp cooler or something. I know swamp coolers and evaporative coolers, same thing really, will increase the humidity in the area, but I would much rather have it be humid and cool than humid and 102. I can't imagine that. That would be, I've been through that. But yeah, I wouldn't want to have to deal with it on top of medical issues and that sort of thing. So yeah, I may start doing this, and just dealing with it. He says hi. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by. I don't know how much longer we're going to be here. We've been here an hour and 40 minutes, but I'm really thankful to everybody who has been here, whether it's been for the last few minutes or for the duration or whatever. Again, I also want to thank you guys for your generous donations today. It really does mean a lot, and I thank you. I don't know what else to say besides that. I'm going to, like I said earlier, I'm going to keep making content as long as I can, just so that I can keep sharing my knowledge with you guys. And I say knowledge, that's presumptuous. Here's the thing. When I first started making content about Open Medieval, about Docker, about all of that, I would learn something and then make a video about it, and then learn something else and make a video about it. I wasn't, especially very early on, it was kind of a fake it until you make it kind of situation, right? It was very much a situation of, I've just learned this thing and I'm really excited that I've learned this thing, and I want to share with you how you can learn this thing. And that's kind of how my entire channel has gone for the duration of all of the self-hosting, whether it was Open Medieval, whether it was Docker, whether it was Portainer, whether it was Proxmox. All of it has been, I've learned this and now I'm going to share it with you. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, because I've still got the excitement of, I just learned this thing and that's really cool. But also because I very often come back to my own videos to remind myself how to do things if I ever need to remember how to do it. So yeah, I actually come back and watch my own content, because I know I've run into this issue before. How did I fix it? How did I overcome this hurdle in the past? It's like, oh, you know what? You made a video about that. Let's go look. And that's been super helpful for me too. Hunter, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. It has been almost 2 hours, and I've still got my, well, it was ice water. Now it's just cold water, and that's fine. Glenn, thank you. It's been really nice actually chatting again. Like I said, it's literally been just over 4 months since the last one of these, and I think, honestly, I think that's kind of unacceptable. Like, I know I've been dealing with some stuff, but I really enjoyed doing the live streams before I took the 4 month break, because it's like it's. I said this in a previous live stream, where like I was in this mindset before I was doing live streams, of my job is to produce content. Like I'm producing content and helping people learn new things, and that was only part of what my job is. My job isn't just producing content. My job ultimately is to cultivate a community of like-minded individuals to share their experiences and help grow a wealth of knowledge among my peers. And that's where I fell flat prior to the last, when I was actually doing live streams regularly, because you guys are the ones watching my videos, right? You guys are the ones that got me to where I am, the subscribers, the views, the sponsorships that I've had, the opportunities that I've been given, whether it's a financial sponsorship or a hardware sponsorship or whatever the case is. That's all because of you guys. That's because you guys have come in and watched my videos and engaged with my videos and that sort of thing. And so for me to just say, well, my job is to put out content, wasn't accurate. It was me lying to myself. My job is to cultivate a community, and I can only really do that by doing live streams, by adding live streams and other things to what I'm putting out there, and actually having these live interactions with you guys. Like, again, you guys are the ones that got me to where I am. Like, I understand I made the content and that sort of thing, but if nobody watched the content, I would have stopped making the content a long time ago. So it was, I realized then that I, the two things. One, I owe you guys live streams, but two, I enjoy doing live streams, right? Like I've got this social anxiety thing where it's like, if I know people are coming over, I'm like, man, do they really have to come over? Do we really have to have company? Do we really have but then they come over and we have a great time, right? And it's the same mental hurdle to do live streams, right? It's like, man, it's an effort. And that's ultimately what it is it's an effort. And sometimes that feels overwhelming, but then when I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go do it. I'm going to force myself to do it. And then I'm here, we're having a great time. We're chatting about personal stuff. We're chatting about tech stuff. We're asking questions. We're getting to know each other in the technical sense, in the personal sense. And that's really, I think, just as important. It's more important. The community is more important than the content. But you can't have one without the other, right? It's this homogenous blend of, you've got to have all of the parts working together to continue to grow, as a creator, as somebody watching the content, learning new things, as a community. It's all tied together, and that's the thing I have to keep reminding myself of when I don't want to do a live stream. So yeah, there's that. Nighthawk said the way that he did that with going back to me just learning something and making a video and learning something. Nighthawk said that doing it that way helped him. You know, back in the mirror, would you do it another? I'm just going to call you Med. I apologize. That's a really interesting question, and I'm actually really glad that you asked that. I think it's reminded me of a video idea that I had a while back. When you're getting started with self-hosting and home labbing and that sort of thing, don't jump in thinking that you're going to do high availability, multi-node configurations with redundant networking and all of this stuff. Don't start there. It's overwhelming. It's too much. I would, like, honestly, I started with Open Media Vault. I really did. And it gave me an understanding of how volumes work. It gave me an understanding of how Docker works. It gave me an understanding of, user and group IDs and how they tie into Docker containers with regards to permissions. So honestly, what I would say, and I'm going to shamelessly promote my own content here. Go watch the first couple of videos about Open Media Vault 7. They're on my channel. I think I should have an Open Media Vault 7 playlist somewhere. Go check out those videos. It goes through the setup. The actual setup of Open Media Vault. It goes through the setup of getting Docker and Docker Compose installed in Open Media Vault. And then we just we're going to take it step by step through this video series. That's how I got into self-hosting, was Open Media Vault 5. I like I said, technically I started with 4, but that was like a week and one video before I switched to 5. It will give you a foundational understanding of how things work together. If you want to use the built-in Docker Compose that comes with Open Media Vault's OMV extras, you can do that. It's built in. It's actually pretty badass. The video that I'm working on right now, the third in the series, actually goes into greater detail about Compose and setting up remote folders for doing backups. It also talks about doing backups and restorations and that sort of thing, so that if your system crashes, or if you delete a container accidentally, how you can restore it. I'm going to cover all of that on some level. I'm going to cover all of that in this video. I've got like 90% of the script written. I just need to come out here and record it and get all the B-roll, that sort of thing. So start small. Start with a password manager. Start with, I was going to say Pi-hole or AdGuard, but there are some DNS issues that you might run into because Linux by default uses port 53 for its own DNS services, but you've got to go in and disable that in order to get Pi-hole or AdGuard to work in a lot of instances anyway. So find like I said, a password manager. Find just small little things, note-taking apps, things like that you can kind of get your feet wet with, so to speak. And that's how I would recommend starting a home lab. Start with a very simple setup with very simple Docker containers. And once you've done a few of those, then find something that's also got a database requirement and learn how those connect together. And then once you start getting familiar with that, you'll just start deploying things to just check them out, because you've got a grasp of it, and that's what you want to check out, something new. At least that's how it worked for me. I think that's how everybody does it. Almost everybody starts with Plex, and I think that's ambitious, especially if you want to do something with like a GPU pass-through, that sort of thing. So I would start with password managers and note-taking apps, things like that, to get you familiar with how Docker works. Again, I use Open Media Vault 5 for like 200 videos. I made a couple of videos on Open Media Vault 6 and hated it. Even made a video about how much I hated it. And then part of me feels like somebody at Open Media Vault, the organization, the group, the whatever, saw that video and fixed some of the stuff I had complaints about. So, also, Nighthawk is right. Look at a home lab as a way to solve an issue rather than creating issues to solve. Now, I will caveat that by saying, unless you're trying to learn something for the sake of learning something. If that's the case, then create a problem and then solve it. But make sure it's not a real problem. Come up with a problem in your brain and then solve it with self-hosting. If you're trying to learn something new, that's the only caveat I would add to that. Nighthawk says, people at work like to tell me, people at work tell me I like to talk and I'm not social. Yeah, dude, I get that. My wife and I have had that similar conversation fairly recently. She always thought she was an extrovert, and then she realized, no, she just likes to talk, and she likes to have people around to talk too, and that sort of thing. So it's like, if people come over, we'll talk for hours, but the idea of going out and like doing social things outside our own house is just like, why? But we do it anyway, so it is what it is. JD says, as someone with mental health issues, I can relate. Sometimes just even saying yes is a chore. Absolutely. And James followed that with analysis paralysis is absolutely a thing. Dude, I genuinely struggled with that for like 3 months this year. Um, yeah, exactly. In this case, the analysis of doing the live stream. Absolutely. Like I kicked it around for a couple hours this morning. And then I put out a face or I put out a post here on the channel, and then I also put out a post like on Twitter. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter, Facebook, and Mastodon, using Buffer to just do all that simultaneously. And I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna go and I'm going to schedule a live stream. And if 5 people show up, or 50 people, or 100 people, whatever, whoever shows up, and that at least gets me to prove that I can do it. And there have been 295 views on the stream so far, 17 of you currently here, and I love that. I think that's the perfect way to get back into doing this. So thank you to the 17 of you who are currently here, and the others who were here earlier. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. Let's see, Glenn says, back in the 90s, I did top tier tech support at iOmega. Holy crap. I haven't thought about iOmega in a long time. I kind of moved on from tech for a long time and started truck driving. Now I'm learning tech, as so much has changed over the years. It absolutely has. Like when I was little, even as a little kid, like I was always interested in tearing things apart, just to see if I could put them back together. I was always tinkering with stuff. And like in high school, I messed around with AOL a little bit, and, cause they were always sending you the free discs. So I would check those out, and then I got into like an actual open browser, like Internet Explorer. No, it was Netscape at the time. And then I was like, how does this work? So I would like view the source code, and I started teaching myself HTML. And then Angelfire came along. That's for you people above 40. Angelfire came along, and I built some web pages there. And then I didn't touch it again for years. I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch anything tech related for years. And then I got into building websites again. Like I was looking for a job, and somebody, when I was still in Idaho, was like, hey, I got a web dev company. I'm looking for somebody. So he paid me back in like 2006. He paid me $18 an hour to learn ASP and ASP.NET. So that got me back into building websites, and then I got into Joomla, and then I got into WordPress, and then I started getting back into computers, and then I got into self-hosting, and it's all been kind of all over the place for me. But no, I think it's cool that you're getting back into tech, especially after so long. Nighthawk says, I've been using Vault Warden for 3 years and have moved it to different locations, and now added my work access as a second account. Dude, that's honestly, Vault Warden was one of the first practical things I did with Docker. It was Bitwarden at the time, but it wasn't technically Bitwarden. They had to change their name. But I had been using LastPass for years, and I'd been referring people to LastPass, so I was getting it for free. You refer somebody, you get 30 days or whatever it is. Same thing with private internet access. If you use my affiliate link and sign up, I get 30 days free. I haven't paid for private internet access in years. But so anyway, I ended up because LastPass decided you could have one device while they were actively getting hacked. And it's like, screw that. I'm going to go try this self-hosted thing. And I had it up for a couple of weeks, and I was like, look, I talked to my wife, and I was like, look, I think this is going to be better for you. So we moved her over to Vault Warden, and she loves it so much more than she ever loved LastPass. And she's not she's not a techie person. Like, she can get, she's great with medical stuff, not necessarily great with the tech stuff, and she likes Vault Warden and appreciates that it's self-hosted. Glenn says, now we're able to carry some tech on us with it. And that's cool. Like, if you were to, get a little like this, I would honestly, I've got 2 of them over here. I've also got this Geekom that I need to make a video about at some point. But this is more of a beast of a machine. It is 100 plus watts, whereas this is like 25 watts. You get something like that, and keep a little home lab in your truck. I could absolutely see how that would work. For the wisdom, Matt, I look, that's what we're here for. That's what we're trying to do, is share what we know to try to help everybody else learn more. And look, I'm learning stuff in these chats all the time too. Hey, Scotty Bite, thank you so much for stopping by. Much appreciated. Glad to see you're here. It has been a while, so I'm glad that people are stopping by to say hi. Carl, dude, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate your support. Hope to see you in the next one, which will hopefully be soon. Is there any hardware you might need? I always have a bunch of hardware. We're throwing out. I tell you what, Mr. Japan, I'm going to share my this email address. .com. Shoot me an email at that address. That's all over the internet. I don't care if you have that one. It isn't tied to any of my important stuff. So if shoot me an email, let's chat. I might take you up on that. Dude, GeoCities. GeoCities was in the Alta Vista days. That's true. I haven't thought about GeoCities in a long time either. On the days of the Jazz Drive. in fact, I think in one of the last live streams, we talked about Jazz Drives and zip drives and that sort of thing. I never had a Jazz Drive, but I did have a zip drive. And it was impressive to have 100 megs in the palm of your hand. It was amazing. And now, this is 128 gigs. I couldn't fathom that back then. I remember having a 40 gig hard drive in my computer, and it was the baddest thing you could get back then. Mr. Japan said, I just set up an AIM server. I can use any of the AIM. Dude, that's amazing. That's really cool. And Nighthawk brings up a valid point there. The power usage of older gear isn't as, or the older gear isn't as efficient. Yeah, everything Nighthawk said there about that's absolutely true. James, dude, thank you so much for swinging by. I really do appreciate it. I know you had said earlier in Discord that you had stuff going on today. But yeah, both Jameses are headed out. So thank you both for hanging out for a bit. Really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It has been, God, it's already been 2 hours. Worked at CompUSA when the first 1 gig drive came out. Holy crap. Oh, you know what? Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. I mean, it is, but I recently came across a digital camera that was old, with a 512 megabyte SD card there. So that kind of dates that. It was made by Lexar Media. Okay, it's like Ritz big print digital. What? But no, it's Lexar with a 512 meg capacity there, and no speed on it because they were all slow. Let's see. The downfall of iOmega was the chairman being unwilling to move past the zip drive as he was part of that. Oh, so that was an ego thing. He didn't want to let his baby die, and as a result, wow, I actually really didn't know that. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, no, I had one of the zip drive things in my 5.5 inch bay there. I think with the adapter to bring it down to the 3.5 inch. I don't remember. God, it's been so long. That was like 03 or 04, I think, when I had that. Mini PCs have been really awesome for home labs. I agree with that 100%. Excuse me, particularly in regards to the low power consumption and the awesome resource utilization of LXD containers models are supporting dual DDR5. That's true. The mini PC I reviewed a couple of days ago has dual channel DDR5 SODIMM slots in it. It came with 16 gigs, and I upgraded it to 32, and it's been amazing. This may be... Let's see. iOmega came out with a digital camera, though. I feel like I remember something about that. Gosh, it's been... Oh, darn it. That's not what I wanted to do. I really need to replace this trackball. I'll get to that someday. iOmega digital camera. Oh, yep. The iOmega Labs Zip Cam from 1999 with an 8x digital zoom and 4x optical zoom and a 2 megapixel sensor. It can shoot 200 images on a 100 megabyte zip disk. Man, that's crazy. And then Scotty Byte says, this may be the year we see 128 gigs of memory on upcoming mini PC models. That would be amazing. That would be super cool. I I really hope. I think because we're seeing some of the more powerful mini PCs coming out lately, um, and they're coming out with USB 4, and they're coming out with the Oculink connections and all of that. You know, they're coming out with decently powerful CPUs. And now that you can add the eGPU through the Oculink or the USB 4, I hope we start seeing more RAM capacity, just because they're so efficient lately. And you don't need, like, I've got a tower over here with, you know, a Ryzen 5 CPU and a full-size GPU and a 10 gig NIC card and all of this stuff in it. You don't need something like that for much of anything anymore unless you're doing gaming. You know, like in that video I showed some gaming that I was able to do with like Fallout 4, Watch Dogs 2, all of the esports titles played really well on the mini PCs, or at least that mini PC. But I was even able to edit video. Like editing that video on that PC was rough when I had like 5 video layers going on. That was rough, but it managed it and handled it really well. But yeah, I really hope that eventually we start seeing some more powerful, even if they're, you know, 200-300 watts. I'd like to see some more powerful mini PCs coming out to get rid of these big towers that we don't necessarily need anymore. Radu, I think that's how we're pronouncing that. Said, hey, just joined. You're doing a great job with your content. Keep it up. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. I'm going to try to start doing more live streams to chat with you guys, and so we can kind of share our knowledge in these chats and that sort of thing. So hopefully I'll be able to start doing these more often again. My mental health is doing a little better, and my physical health is kind of doing a little better. And the kid won't be home, like he's on break this week, or was on break this week. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do more live streams here soon. What mini PCs as? Hold on. Oh, come on. All right. Hold on. Feel like. Oh, okay. But that's cool. Consulting would be fun, I think. I think it would be tedious, but I think I would enjoy the process of coming up with solutions for consulting and that sort of thing. I haven't really done it in a long time. I used to consult for like websites and things like that as far as the technology that would be needed in them, but I haven't done any hardware consulting, I think, ever. So Bernard says mini forums MSO1 is a little beast. I've seen some videos people have made about that. But like Nighthawk followed up with, I want one when they become affordable. They're like $1,000 right now, or they were the last time I saw, which I totally get. It's a lot of power in a small form factor, but yeah, it's too much for me to justify right now. Carl says, I just want a good AMD AM4 socket board with 2 M.2 slots and a ton of SATA 6 ports. It doesn't matter if it's gen or if it's first gen. Yeah, no, I get that, Carl. I do. 128 gigs of memory would rock. I 100% agree with that. Currently running with 48 gig. Jeez, dude. 96 gigs of DDR5 is insane. I didn't even know they made 48 gig sticks. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's just, 8 gigs or 16 gigs all in one. I guess it makes sense. I just never thought of that capacity as being a thing. 2x48 is a very nice device on the Minis forum. Yeah, like I'd really like to try Minis forum. In fact, I reached out to them prior to the MSO1 coming out. I didn't know anything about it. I reached out to them, never heard anything back, which it's fine. I don't expect to hear back from everybody. But but yeah, I would love to work with Minis Forum. In fact, I say that a few years ago, a couple of years ago, I guess, um, I did. I my I got my computer compromised. Somebody who was pretending to be um, somebody who wanted to sponsor some content on my channel. I was excited. I wasn't paying attention. I opened their PDF and it wasn't a PDF and it compromised my stuff. And it was a real crap show for a while. And then ended up picking up a Minis Forum. The HX09, I think. I don't remember now. But I picked up one of their devices and used it out here for a really, really long time. Um, but yeah, no, it was great. I loved it. In fact, I think it's up there on my shelf behind me somewhere. Great little machine, but it's a few years old now, so obviously not going to be quite as robust as some of the other devices that I've picked up since then. Let's see. But yeah, no. If anybody's got if anybody knows anybody at Minis Forum or however it's pronounced, um, then my email is all over the place. You can hit me up. That'd be cool. Really like to check out some of their stuff. Let's see. Let me get back over to here. Yeah. So let's see what. Let me see if I missed anything else. It seems like every time I go back to start looking to see if I've missed anything is when you guys start doing the chat thing again. But let's see. Way do it again. Yeah, we talked about that. I'm actually pretty happy with the way I went about everything as far as my journey there was concerned. Yeah, no, I think we are all caught up. Yeah, so I guess if anybody's got questions, I'd be happy to take questions at this point. If you've got thoughts, comments, anything else, I'm all about that. For scalable storage, iSCSI mount storage. Interesting. I I don't know why, but I don't hear much about iSCSI much these days. Um, it doesn't. I've never used it, but it just doesn't seem like there's much out there going on with it these days. I remember when SCSI drives back in the day were like they were fast drives compared to whatever the SATA generation was at that point. But I haven't heard much about people using iSCSI much these days. All right, Nighthawk. Again, thanks for hanging out. Go enjoy your new mini PC. Um, so yeah, I think it's been a couple hours, 2 hours and about 2 hours and 9 minutes, and I think that has far exceeded my expectations of how long this would go. So again, thank you to everybody who hung out. Thank you to everybody who commented. Even if you hung out and didn't comment, thank you. I appreciate you being here. For everybody who became channel members, patrons who donated, thank you. I can't say that enough. I really do. I really do mean that. It means a lot to me that you guys have decided to support me that way. So thank you for all of that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I will try to maybe do another one of these here next week, or let me think. Hold on. I got to think about it. The 12th. Probably not next week, only because we're doing some renovation stuff. Really, it's just we're having a dumpster dropped off. And like the neighbors on either side of us, the three houses split the cost of a mini dumpster, and we're just going to offload some trash. But I imagine it's going to take the entire weekend. So there may not be one next weekend, but I might try to do one midweek, that sort of thing. So, yeah, again, thank you to everybody for hanging out, for the support, the moral support, the financial support, all of that. Thank you. It really does mean a lot to me. And I'm going to try to do another one of these again here really soon. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Also, more videos coming out here on the channel. So definitely be sure to check those out.